You know how there's some days in your life that you can really pinpoint something important happened? You got your license, your first child was born, you got married, something happened tragic, these events that pass by that are really easy to pinpoint. And then sometimes things happen that go by without really noticing what they were, but they end up being really important things as well. And sometimes you look back at them and you have to say, when did that happen? So I was thinking about this, and I went and I looked back at my first video. And my first video on this channel was actually on October 20th, 2007. And it's me talking to my son Dylan, who was 2 months old, about this pumpkin patch that we had just gone to for Halloween. When I took the video, I said, okay, how do I get this file to show my mom the video? So I called up my brother Mike, and he said, why don't you just upload it to YouTube and send her a link? And I said, what's YouTube? This is a place where you can upload your videos and share them with people. So I went and I signed up, uploaded the video, called my mom, sent her an email link, and she watched it while I was on the phone. That's what my friend Ann calls a before and after moment. An event that changes your life forever. You see, I didn't realize that this website called YouTube was going to be a place 9 years in the future where I would upload videos on everything that I had learned about music throughout my entire life to share with anyone that wanted to watch. There were a couple other events that happened. On December 15th, 2015, I uploaded a video to Facebook of my son Dylan, just naming some single notes, then a couple notes, then some polychords. These are really going to be hard. You ready? What's this? And that video went viral on Facebook and had 22 million views worldwide. Well, I had this intern that had been interning at my studio since 2013, Rhett Shull. Now, many of you know Rhett. You've seen him on this channel, and he has his own YouTube channel.
Personally, I haven't really felt comfortable making the comparison.
Well, Rhett came in one day when he was interning at my studio, and he said, you should start a YouTube channel. I said, well, I've told this story many times. Nobody's going to watch a white-haired guy on YouTube. What am I going to do? He said, teach the things that you're teaching on Facebook, but make it a real channel. So I said, well, I don't really know how to use a camera even. I don't own a camera. He said, listen, I'll come over tomorrow. I'll bring my camera and my computer, and we'll make your channel trailer. If you come to my channel for the first time, you'll still see that same channel trailer. I have over 35 years of experience as a touring musician, educator, writer, producer, engineer, and my goal is to share with you what I've learned. For the most part, everything that I said the channel was going to be about is what it's about. Now, I've veered off into different directions. The beginning of the channel was more for professional musicians. Like this video that I did in the beginning of 2018 with a very little known YouTuber at the time. Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato.
And I'm Nari Soul.
And our seventh and final mode is D flat, Locrian, double flat 3, double flat 7. That video was called The Modes of the Darkest Scale Ever, where we composed a piece together using all the modes of the double harmonic major scale. So I had a concept for my channel, I had the channel trailer, and about 6 days later, I made my first video. I feel like a car salesman. I remember calling Red up and I said, hey, I just put my first video out. He said, what's it on? I said, it's on ear training. He goes, okay, I'll go check it out right now. And after that video, in the first year of my channel, I made 340 more videos. And on July 4th, 2017, I hit 100,000 subscribers. Now, at this point in my life, I was 54 years old, and I was really unhappy with what I was doing as a music producer. I had been producing since 1999 full-time, and honestly, I'd gotten to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. It was unbearable to me, because of the kind of music I had to do and the things that were in vogue at the time. And I just didn't want to do them. And I was trapped. So I have a family that I have to support. What am I going to do? I have to do this. When I started making the videos, it was really enjoyable. I was tapping into something that I hadn't thought about in years. I stopped teaching as a college professor back in 1992. So really nothing that I had done. I had already written my book, the Beato book, back in 1989. That was already written years ago, 30 years ago. You know, I had all these ideas that I wanted to get out, and I learned a lot in the last 30 years, like about music production, beyond all the other things that I knew. And at a certain point, I started selling my book, and I started selling t-shirts and coffee mugs and things like that, and I made enough money to not produce anymore so that I could support the channel and do what I wanted. Now, you guys know that I don't do sponsorships of gear. I don't run ads on my channel. When videos are demonetized, I don't complain. I complain about videos being blocked. I have always tried to do what I think is best for students to learn from. And I don't believe that students can learn from music that's like the Beatles or like Led Zeppelin or like Bach. You have to use the actual music, and most of the time those videos get demonetized. Just to be clear, with that term demonetization, that doesn't mean that the video makes no money. It actually has ads on it, but the money goes to the artist. If I do a video on the Beatles, the money will go to Lennon and McCartney, whoever wrote the song, which is perfectly fair. The things that I complain about is the blocking, because I see that as a form of censorship. You should be able to use parts of songs for teaching purposes. As long as the artist is getting compensated, I don't see what the big deal is. I really believe that it only hurts the artists. It keeps them from getting exposed to new audiences. Getting back to the beginning of my channel, it never occurred to me that this thing actually would be successful. This idea that in your mid-50s, you can change the course of your life just by trying something out. I mean, it doesn't always work, but if you don't try, it's definitely not going to work. If you go back to my early videos, it's really hilarious. I didn't know how to use a camera. I just was winging it. I'd turn it on. I'd be making the videos at night after the bands had left. I'd start filming. I'd be falling asleep. And then I'd put together the edit. I wouldn't watch it, and I would put it out. And then one of my friends would call me in the morning, like my friend Amy Nolte, who has a great YouTube channel. Amy would call me up and say, "Rick, there's a huge mistake in your video." And I said, "Oh, what did I do?" "Well, you walk out of the room and then you walk back in and then you do a line a couple times. I think you meant to edit that out." And I would say, "Oh, yeah." And I'd watch her say, "Oh, brother." So I'd take the video down. It didn't have any views anyways. I'd edit the part out and just put it back up. I think it took probably about 30 videos or so before I even had a video that had 1,000 views on it. I used to read in the comments, "Wow, I can't believe you have really great content. I can't believe nobody watches your videos." And the thing is, when you start a channel, nobody wants to be the first person that makes a comment. They want to see that social proof on there. I mean, somebody's got to comment, but nobody wants to be the first person. But you can't let that discourage you. Eventually, I got subscribers. It took 13 months to get to 100,000. That's the first YouTube award that you get. But the important part of it was that I was passionate about this. I got into music really as a teacher. I got my undergraduate degree in music education. I got my master's degree in jazz studies. My undergrad degree was in classical bass. This idea that this is impossible to do, I always say to people, somebody has to be successful, so why can't it be you? It can. I had this great interview with Victor Wooten last week. I hung out with Victor at his camp. Hanging out with him, he's such a positive human being, and it made me reevaluate what I was doing, and the love he has for teaching people it's really palpable. It's amazing, and you can see it in his when you talk to him. He just loves helping people and teaching people, and that's why I do this. This is why I want to do this. This is why I want to keep doing this. I have friends that ask me, "Well, can I start a YouTube channel?" I said, "Absolutely." Or can I change careers in my 50s? Yes, you can. You can. You just have to believe that you can do it. That's pretty much the most important thing. You have to have people around you that support you and that believe in you. That's really important too. My mom was the most positive person ever. She's the one that gave me the confidence in being able to do these things. She always told me, Rick, oh, you can do anything. You're the best. Mom, I got all D's in school. I was a D- student in high school. Well, the teachers don't know how to teach you. It was always something like that. So I always felt I can do anything. Mom says I can do anything, so I can do anything. And that is an important lesson. And I try to instill that into our kids, that same thing, that believe you can do it and you can do it. People will watch a white-haired guy on YouTube, come to find out. It's pretty amazing. I wanted to tell that story because I don't feel like I've told it in a long time, because I remember the last time I did, I had a video called Fortunes of Hard Work, which was about me not getting into college the first time I auditioned for music school. I lied to everyone in my family about it. I go, this is the first time I told it was on YouTube back in 2017. I told this story, and I did not get into the 2 colleges I auditioned for music. And then I re-auditioned the next year, and I got into Ithaca College, where I'd been rejected. And then 6 years later, I was a professor there. So these things can happen if you believe they can happen and you're willing to put the work in. That's all for now. Please subscribe here. If you're a new subscriber, remember to ring the bell. If you're interested in the Beato book or anything in my store, that's how I support my channel. Go to my website at www.rickbeato.com. Follow me on Instagram at rickbeato1, and if you want to support the channel even more, think about becoming a member of the Beato Club. And thank you so much for being here.